Succinctly put, is it something?
I mean, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but maybe you're going to do a double combo. Succinctly.
Succinctly.
Yes.
Succinctly.
Oh my God. What's up,
Hi,
people?
people.
What's happening?
Hello, everyone.
It's been a minute.
Yes.
What's
been
happening?
2 minutes.
What's going on? Kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀? Ṣé wàá pa? Ṣé gbogbo ẹ̀ ń ṣàpọ̀n? Ṣé gbogbo ẹ̀ ń pẹ́ẹ́pẹ́ẹ́? I know say.
What's the meaning of everything? Nobody understood what you were saying now.
Translate. What's my year one? Don't worry. You don't worry. They will understand. They'll get it. All right?
Right.
You guys do your Googles. Talk to your Yoruba friends. Go translate.
Wow.
You get.
Google Translate cannot even get that.
You don't
it's
know.
Not possible.
You never can
Go
tell.
and try it. I'm sure. Guys, say it again.
I can't
You
remember.
can't Hello, everyone. Welcome
to the Shrine
another
Podcast.
Episode.
Welcome to another episode of the Shrine Podcast, the show where we talk about music, pop culture, lifestyle, music, from our
You mentioned
lens.
music before.
Okay. Thank you very much for correction. The show where we talk about music, pop culture, lifestyle, and technology from our lens as young Nigerians living in Canada by way of
VPN.
Still, bruh.
How many episodes now we're still on this VPN issue?
You know,
guy.
My name is Akindare, and with me on the show today is
it's Jemima. Welcome to another episode. I actually miss talking. I have not been speaking for a while. I have been speaking.
Where is she?
I meant like recording the podcast. Yeah. So yeah, this Jemima here. Welcome, guys.
Welcome. How was your week, Jemima?
How was my week? My week was intense. I had a lot to do. There wasn't so much to, get into regarding like personal life. Just chilling and all. It was just walk.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was a very busy week. But we thank God. The weekend was good. I rested, and it's Sunday now, so I'm kind of charged for the new week. Yes.
Speaking of Sunday, we are coming to you live on a slightly sunny Sunday afternoon.
It's going to rain.
Maybe it's been raining all fucking week, man. It's ridiculous.
7 days rain,
guy. My week was also busy. Like, it was fucking hectic. Just work. There's this big thing coming up at work, so it's just like all aboard.
Big things are going.
Like just back to back. God, the amount of meetings I had last week, Jesus Christ, man. Every day I'm having like minimum of like 5 meetings. It's crazy.
Are your meetings like, those ones where it could be an email? There's now we just like, let's quickly jump on a call. Let's quickly jump on a meeting. Nigga, like, we can talk about it, or you can, we can send an email. It's just like, let's get on a call.
That's what I like about my employer. Like, nobody is calling meetings if it can be an email. Absolutely not.
Lucky.
If they are calling a meeting, then it has to be. And most, like 98% of our meetings never exceed the time like allotted. In fact, there are even times when like we spend less time than was booked. So for example, maybe it's a 1 hour meeting, but we spent 45 minutes on what we need to do, and you hear stuff like, oh, so should we take 15 minutes back? And everybody be like, yeah. And then we just move on.
You guys are not hiring. I beg you, let my boss not listen to this episode. It's just a joke, boss. I just want to know, just for my sister, if they're hiring, so that she can,
Man, no deal.
Oh God. So wait, what's the big thing? Do you want to share? You said something big.
Well, September 25th. Stay tuned. Check on my socials. You see it.
Right.
You see it. September 25th is a 24-hour thing. It's happening in multiple continents. So
ooh, I like the suspense.
Pay attention to my social media. You see stuff about it for sure.
Your socials.
Yes, my socials. Get on there, okay? Follow me. What's your
Twitter
account? Akindare Live, please. On Twitter, Akindare Live. She gets
right.
My former account. I have thousands of followers, but these things happen. We lose access to account. Yeah? So this new one, I only have 36. Okay, so help my ministry, Ejo. Thank you very much.
Please
I appreciate
follow him.
it. Thank you so much.
All right.
This week, what are we talking about this week?
This week, we're going to be talking about something that, you and I have discussed like in the past before, and something I've discussed with like, friends of mine. Just something that is just, you just think about it like, is this thing a thing? Should it be a thing? How do I navigate this thing?
Talking about suspense.
I knew you were going to catch that. Nice. Okay, so we're going to be talking about begging privilege, right?
Oh.
It's very interesting because what was it? A couple of episodes ago, right? We talked about to beg or not to beg on the internet.
The interwebs.
Right? And then we talked about how people, go through this begging phase and, go for me and all of
birthday
that.
list.
And then the birthday list. But this one
Yo,
is kind
sorry, quickly before we
Yeah.
go on, I saw one birthday list like 2 days ago. So someone put plot of land. I was like, what?
But I mean,
Plot of land?
now wish list now. Anybody like tell me back Bewo.
Jesus
if the
Christ.
Holy Spirit ministers it into your heart.
Choke me out because anybody who won't buy plot of land for you, the guys get more than plot of land for sure.
You understand?
But you
They probably have like houses, like they built. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to be talking about begging privileges, but like amongst friends and like acquaintances and people who you're cool with.
I think just in life,
Just
in
in life,
general.
right?
Even people that beg on the road, we need to talk about their approach to begging. Like,
Well, okay, yeah.
say one
fair
call
enough.
pots around one because some people. There's those people that like you'll be like Alaba Musa.
I
but
don't
Mbao, No. They go see they follow you.
Oh my god, I think I heard something about they gave a beggar 100 naira. I think I saw it on Twitter. Somebody gave a beggar 100 naira or something, or maybe 50 naira. I can't
Please
remember
don't
now.
say the beggar complained.
Yeah.
Oh my god. You see why we have to talk about this shit?
Yeah, like it's too small. It's like it's the audacity.
That
for
person
me.
has not heard the Shana proverb.
Right.
Beggars can't be choosers.
I know, right?
Like, you are the one begging. You know what? Look up. Let me open this Google. Let me Google the meaning of begging right now. Let's define it for these people.
Oh my god.
Okay, this is for the culture.
Tell me though, what's the begging privilege for you, like personally?
I'll say begging privilege is basically.
I don't know. Should it even be begging on like asking for? I mean, begging kind of
My
encompasses everything.
Let's call it spade.
Let's call it spade.
Begging is begging. Okay,
Alright,
we
begging
all
is
beg.
begging.
I beg. You beg.
I beg.
Our
Everybody
parents,
begs.
our bosses at work, everybody begs for some shit.
My parents beg
someone.
cooperative so that they can pay my school fees.
You get so begging is everywhere. Real
Yeah.
quick. So begging definition according to Oxford Languages: ask someone earnestly, and this is very key because I'm not the one that wrote this thing. I swear to God, you can Google begging definition and you see it. Ask someone earnestly or humbly for something. Humbly, that's the keyword. That's the operative word there. Definition number two: ask for food or money as charity.
Okay.
So therefore, in no way, shape, or form, in no planet, in no world, in no existence, should you be begging on the road and somebody give you 100 naira and you say you complain.
But it's
Are
not
you
enough
mad,
now.
fam?
It's not enough.
Are you having a laugh? Like my friend who
It's
said,
not enough.
are you
now.
having a laugh?
It's not enough now.
But yeah, begging privilege to me, I think is just that kind of room, that space that exists in interpersonal relationships between strangers, people that are acquainted, people that are familiar, maybe family members, colleagues, whatever. But just that space that exists in interpersonal relationships where you are allowed to ask for something that you need or make a request or, just ask for something that you
Beg,
need, basically.
like you said.
Yeah, or begging money.
Well, you said we should call it spade, so use beg, okay?
We fall on that begging, and according to Oxford, you need to do this. You need to ask or make this
Humbly.
request humbly, right? So I think it's just that kind of abstract space where, like, if you have a friend, for example, and maybe I don't know, you need 1,000, you need 1K for something real quick, you can be like, I beg, give me 1K, right?
Give away.
This, no matter the amount of times you hear I beg on this podcast, they did not pay us
I beg, do give away.
for this show, okay? So, like, I beg, give me this, or help me with this thing, or help me carry this thing, or help me lift this thing, right?
Yeah.
So, that's So that's what I think begging privilege is. It's just that space where even as a stranger, right? A stranger can walk up to you and ask you for something, right? It might be directions. I mean, you might not think of that as like begging, but it might be directions, it might be money, they might need something, whatever it is, right? Even as a stranger, there's that kind of space in our heads where it's like, okay, you at least consider the request.
Right.
But then there's now the other bit, which is where the privilege comes in, which is, so at what point does the request or what they're asking you for or the way they go about it, at what point does it become overstepping? Or at what point does it become doing too much? Or at what point does it become infringing on your own right to either consider or not consider that request or whatever the other person is asking for, right? So that's where I think the privilege comes in. I think the begging privilege is, if you were to say that space is a room, it's probably a bigger room in like family or within friendships, or I think the further out you go in terms of familiarity, the smaller that room gets, right?
Well, fair.
So yeah, that's what I think it is for me.
Yeah, I think I picked up something from what you were saying, like, and what I picked up is like knowing where to draw the line, right? So the way I see it is like, if you're privileged to have people that you beg for stuff or ask for stuff,
or that you can beg for stuff,
or that you can beg for stuff, exactly.
No point. Because as they beg, they beg you back.
Obviously, like you said earlier, everybody begs, right? So, but like, I do have people, or I do believe that you should have people who, they're there for you, right? There are people who you are privileged enough to have met them and privileged enough to know that they can come through for you, because maybe you've come through for them before, or maybe you've not come through for them before, but just by definition, by just by how they are, you're able to know that, okay, this person, I can ask this person for something, or I can beg this person for something. But going to what you were saying, it's like drawing the line. It's like, when do you know exactly when you've exhausted your begging privilege with somebody? Or can you even exhaust your begging privilege with somebody?
Hell to the fuck, yeah. What?
Now, wow. So you're telling me that I cannot keep begging you and begging you and begging you forever and ever.
Absolutely not.
Forever and ever for life.
Absolutely not. In fact, the thing is that the way I see it, begging is not even it's not the compulsory thing. Like, that's that room that we're talking about, that space that exists that allows people to be able to ask for help or request for things from other people. The person on the other end of the transaction or conversation does not need to honor, listen. Like, they are not bound by anything.
True.
Right? So first of all, nobody, when you think about it like that this person does not owe you this thing that you are asking them for. So now the onus is now on you that
let me comport.
Let me go about it.
That's where the humbleness comes in, right?
That's where the humility comes in. So you're able to
humbleness.
Are you there?
Humility.
You know what to do.
That's where humility.
Actually, humbleness might be a word, but yeah.
Maybe I will use it wrongly.
Sorry for you.
Oh God.
But like, you have to be able to sort of think in that way.
Right.
And like, you can't just think that, because there's somewhere that that this person is there for you. This person has your back. This person has your support. You ask them for something 100 times. They've come through 100 times. If they don't come through that 101st time, you cannot now be mad.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous. Do you get? And so even if you ask somebody the first time and they don't answer you don't know, maybe it's the 10th time that they'll answer you, or maybe it's the 15th time.
Sure.
At the end of the day, nobody is like bound by like all these, by any rules or anything to assent to your request, or to listen to your request, to grant you your request, or to give you the thing that you're asking for. Also because you don't know what's going on their own end. You don't know whether they can afford to give you that thing. You don't know whether they have their own struggle that they are going through, or maybe they're just not in a good mood, or maybe they just don't want to give you nothing.
Period.
So
no, but let's even bring it home, like closer to like people who are your people, like people who are your friends, right? How do you know when you've exhausted your begging privilege with somebody? Is it the number of times you beg that they have accepted, or is it like what you beg for? Or is it like, how do you know? How are you able to balance up that, okay, maybe I've exhausted my begging privilege with this person?
Yeah, I think it depends on the kind of person. So some people are more
True.
generous than others, right? So if he's a very generous person, for example, right? And I'm going to try and put random numbers and stuff. It's not scientific
This is not
in any way.
a financial advice. Scientific advice.
Please, but you should, like, if let's say, so you have generous person, that's person A. You have not so generous person, that's person B, right? If you are friends with both of them, and hopefully your life is not so bad that like you need to ask for things, then you need to beg them for something 10 times a month, right?
Yeah.
For person A, it's probably not going to be too much of an issue or a problem, right? But for person B, it might be. Right? And if you say, if you are close to somebody, or somebody is your family member or whatever, you most likely can gauge like how generous or not generous they are. So then you move
accordingly
within those. So maybe, for example, person A, now you ask them for something, maybe beg them for something 7 times in a 1 month period. Person B, maybe you need to keep that to like 2 times or 3 times. So you also, I guess that's also part of like the humility thing, because in going to beg for something, you have to look past your need, right? So the fact that you need 150K to do that operation,
right?
You have to look past that to the person that you're begging for something. Can they afford 150K? If they can afford it, are they that kind of generous person?
Yeah.
Also, even if they can afford it and they are generous, are they the kind of person that maybe they will not hold it over your head, for example? So you have to think beyond your need and take into context the kind of person you're asking, the situation, the circumstances, and so that's how you're able to gauge, like. But I think a rule of thumb should just be, no matter what it is,
moderation,
just
right?
Not even moderation. Try to keep your begging to a minimum, because yes, you might
I think
get
some
help.
people think that like people owe them like if they beg or ask for something, they feel like they owe them that thing, right? And obviously, like you said, nobody is not. I can decide not to give you, like you can't. Oh, le mommy see. Do you understand? But like the point I'm trying to make now is, what about people who are like you just know, okay, political power, political, making your office, for instance, like say you have an uncle, right? And you know that this uncle, he has money, right?
Senator,
He's a senator, he has money, right? And then you now, or me, let me use you and I, me, let's say it's both our uncles, right? And me, I always like would ask him for stuff, right? Like, give me this, give me that, even though I might not necessarily, it might not be a life or death situation. Like I might be able to afford what I want, but I'm asking him because, he just can't do it. So maybe I am misusing the access that I have to him. Whereas you can decide to ask him maybe every once in a quarter or something, right? And then he might decide to say he's going to give you or he's not going to give you or whatever. But like, because I know that he's somebody in power and maybe he would not say no to me, I now misuse that opportunity or that privilege, and then I now start to ask and ask and ask and ask.
Like,
and
how do you
ask
get
and
to
beg.
the point where you misuse it?
Exactly. Like if that kind of a person now tells me that, or if we have a fallout or whatever, like I should know that I've exhausted my begging privilege to that person in that right, like because I know that I have asked and I have been asking and he has been giving and giving and giving, and maybe I asked once and he did not give me and I'm now upset. I will now know that, okay, I've misused my opportunity or I've misused that privilege of going to meet him or to ask him for stuff. But like, if I now want to, just because he's not giving me that thing, I can now decide to be upset and now carry that on my head, right? And be like, oh, you not give me this thing, and like it just goes back to your humble and humility part.
Yeah, because that's not the move.
Exactly, the fact that he can give it to me does not mean that I should misuse that opportunity, or I should just be asking and begging and begging.
Yeah, I think those two bad bitches can coexist. Sometimes, like if you have access to something, like I mean, it just does not make sense to not utilize it. You get, like if you maybe you have a friend that has a humongous wardrobe and they are always giving out clothes, like it just does not make sense. Like anytime you go and visit them, you're not looking for
something to take.
Looking for something to take, maybe not every time you get.
Yeah.
But also like you can also be on the other end of the spectrum where it's like, okay, I know that my uncle is rich or I need to be senator, but make I know they call him every week. Maybe make I call him like maybe once every like 3 months, ask her for one big thing. You get? That's also fine. At the end of the day, it's about not feeling entitled to what you're getting.
That's
right?
it.
Not feeling like, oh, because this person is my uncle and this person is rich. You know, it's like a Nigerian beggars.
I think a lot of people feel entitled.
They know how to do that in the Nigerian beggars. They'll just they'll go and block in your Corolla. Like they will not leave you. I'll be like, see Benz beside me. Between me and this Benz, who you feel say go help your life? No, seriously.
They are not judging a book by its cover now.
They don't get the fuck.
Boy, you get best for heart.
You know?
They don't know.
So I think at the end of the day, it's all about, see, at the end of the day, as with all things that involve other human beings, right? You can't feel entitled to whatever it is you're getting from the other person's end.
Fair.
Right? And then you also have to be, I'll say, like, respectful of them. I feel like if you get to the point where you overuse your begging privilege, then you've entered the point of disrespect.
City war.
You've entered the point where like you don't necessarily regard this person as someone that you are begging from.
Some people will not be cutting corners. They're not gonna ask somebody that they know that the person will answer to.
Do you get
to beg? That's when you know you don't.
Or you go to like the person's husband to like maybe this is your auntie or something. You not go to her husband or try her kids or like all those kind of things. Like it's just
talk to me directly. Don't go through corners.
It's just you just tend to strain that relationship and just you start to. At least if the other person is, if the other person is anything like me, the person, they'll pick up on it and then they'll start to realize that this person is, and nobody likes being taken for granted.
Yeah.
Do you get? So at the point where you start misusing that privilege, you don't pass.
You don't pass boundaries.
You've overstepped.
I think at the end of the day, you just need to know who you can ask for help. Number one, right? Like you said earlier, like when you were using that A and B instance, right? You know who to ask for help. Like if this person is generous, you know the person would come to. If this person, but then also knowing that because your life is falling apart,
does not mean that
they have to
they've signed on contract with you to always be helping you.
Yeah, so you just have to like know who you ask for help and stuff like that. But like, how does that? I think about people who say I don't like asking for help or I don't like begging. I'm one of them. Right? Like before I would ask or beg for something. Like I have people, like I've said, know the people to ask. Like I have people in my corner, maybe that are 5 that I can ask, and amongst that 5, at least 3 are my sisters, or maybe 2. You understand? And it's just, I think about how that works. Like I know that there are people I can reach out to. I know that I've built some kind of relationship with some certain people that if I'm in a fix, I can easily reach out to them and be like, you know what, help me out this way. But I just cannot get myself to do it because, first of all, I just feel like the person might be going through their own wahala, number 1. Number 2, I don't like insults. So, and now, it might not be as if the person will insult me or whatever, but just because I already have that notion, I already carry that within me, I just like operate on that level and I'm like, you know what, I'm not even going to ask or beg this kind of person or these people. I just stick to the people that I know. But sometimes, even those people I know, they cannot help me out like completely, and I know that maybe there's somebody or there are people who can help me out completely, but I would not to take that step and now say, okay, let me ask for it. It's always like an issue. It's always like challenging.
I mean, there are people, that's fine. I think I'm similar to that. I'm not exactly like in that. I like to be independent and self-sufficient. Like I like to have my shit on lock and not have to rely on people. Because relying on people then takes away like how much I can influence the situation, right? Because I have to rely on them and I can't control what they do. I can't determine, how they react, which is like, I think that's like the point. That's like where there's a divergence, right? So, but at the same time, if it's something that I can't handle, that is it's just not, I know if you figure them out.
Yeah.
Right? I absolutely have zero shame in begging someone or asking somebody to help me
out.
with that thing. Like, absolutely not. But the thing is, I'm going to try everything I can first to figure it out. Right? And it's not the easiest route.
Yeah.
Right? But I think it's the most rewarding, because I think it also cultivates this notion amongst people that know you or people that are close to you that if
for
this
this
guy is
person to
asking
ask.
for this person to ask, it means that
You don't reach.
here. So it shows them that like it has already created that first sort of screen that, okay, this person is at least trying, or this person would have tried. Like, so it's like for me, I'd like to think about it as like a sort of pre-investment. In all our tech bros,
Yeah.
they
say
precede investment.
Or like Yoruba people will say you have to pour cold water on the floor so that you can step on
So
cold ground.
So it's something like that, right? So if you know, as my friend or my auntie or my uncle or my sister or whatever, that Akindare would have tried to figure this thing out by himself. He would have exhausted all options before he would have come. So that way you already know, you're even more inclined to help. It's like if you see beggars on the road, right? If you see someone a beggar that looks maybe drunk and a beggar that's like fully dressed, there's a reason why all these scammers that dress up fully and with our Nigerian bus stops are so successful. It's because you're just naturally inclined to just at least you can bath, put on tie, dress up, you look presentable. So at least
the outward appearance,
that effort you get is what even though they are dying you, but it's fine. So it's the same thing, right? So that's how I like to go. I don't necessarily. I mean, I always think about, maybe the other person is going through what they are going through, or they have their own shit. But also at the same time, like, closed mouths don't get fed.
Yeah.
Right? So if I don't ask for this thing, but if I ask, then they will not tell me that.
They will say no.
I have situation, or you get. So I'm also going into that situation where I'm begging with that in mind, that like
I
might also get a no.
Fair enough.
Because I don't know the person's situation. I don't know what's going on in their own lives. You get. In fact, their own problem might even be worse than my own.
But they are not just saying. But
they are just saying it. So I go. That's how I like to approach it. I first of all try to like figure it out myself.
On your own.
But if I see that it's out of my hands, maybe it's Nigeria that's fucking me up, for example. Like, I cannot beat the whole Nigeria. There's nothing I can do to Buhari right now, Like, I could just vex. Maybe I go post a few angry things, but that's it. Like, I just, maybe I go vote. It's like, I can't really affect the situation now. So if it's that kind of situation, like, or something that's just out of my control, that I can't change, I can't move that needle, then by all means, like, I have zero counts. Because at the end of the day, when you think about it, all those people that say, I can't beg, or I don't like to beg for stuff, you do beg.
Yes, no.
You will beg. You cannot avoid begging. You will beg someone, whether it's your husband, your boyfriend, your sister, your guy. You will beg. Even cleaner, you go beg them.
I beg, let me clean this place. Level, right? It's like nobody is.
No man is an island.
Nobody is
an island. We are by default, and just by the way the world exists, we all have to. You have to interact. You have to get to that point, Sha. You can't just have everything sorted out by yourself 100% of the time. It's just impossible.
I mean, that's why companies enter partnerships now. Like, if they could do it on their own,
even the non-living things.
If they could do it on their own, they would do it on their own.
You understand? Like, all over us, right? All around us, house, road, cars, anything that you can think of, it needs something else to function. Do you understand? Even the cells in your body, right? Those atoms, they need to interact with protons and neutrons. Do you get? Like, different things.
This thing you're saying, is it right?
I don't know if it's right, but I don't. This one.
You don't lie. You don't say rubbish.
Okay, no, sorry. The atom contains the protons and the neutrons. I don't know what I was doing in science class, but that's a story for another day. But yeah, so like, even like the atoms have to interact with other atoms, and like the door handle has to interact with something for the door to open. Like, just everything
has to connect.
That's just how life is, right? So at some point, something is going to need something from another something, or somebody's going to need something from another somebody. And so at that point, because this other somebody does not owe you that thing, you have to beg.
You have to beg.
You have to request.
You gotta beg.
You have to ask humbly, according to Oxford. So that is just. I feel like it's almost like it's a neurotic way to live. Like you just be stressing yourself for no reason. Like
if you cannot ask
and most
people
times,
for stuff.
do you know the thing? Most times people don't mind. Because most times the thing you're asking, most times the thing you're asking for is not something they'll drag around. It's not something that is like that is true. Because like somebody's not going to come and meet me now and be like, I bet you get 1 million if you borrow me sharp. I am not the guy that has 1 million 1 million just chilling in his account.
It's a lie. If you see wherever you see a bill him.
And I don't hear of reverse billing.
They say, boss, my boss.
Before you bill me finish, I don't bill you back.
That's what everybody is doing now. Hello, my boss. Boss, you good afternoon, boss.
Help me. Help my life. Shano me. What are you saying? So like, you're not going to go and meet somebody that is not Dangote to be asking for Dangote type. Something that you beg Dangote for. Do you get? So
it's also that discerning thing that you spoke about earlier. Like, be discerning enough to know, like, who to ask for stuff, and like the capacity. Like, and if they say no or if they cannot help you, you shouldn't be too disappointed. Yeah,
you shouldn't be like. They're not obligated to help you.
It's a privilege, right?
And quickly, yes, it's a privilege that they're helping. That's why it's a begging privilege. The fact that I can even beg somebody for something.
That you even have those people or that person you can beg alone.
Do you understand? That you can't imagine that your body is immobile. Maybe you have, I forget what they call this disease that you have, like, your entire body is paralyzed. Stephen Hawking rather had it. Like if you're paraplegic, for example, and you can't talk well, right? Begging for something or making a request or asking for things is not going to come as easy to you as like normal people, right? So see, people that have disabilities appreciate that privilege more than most. More than us. I mean, do you get what I'm saying? Because you know that, like me now that I know I can't see very well. I'll not have any pride as far as that is concerned at all. Here, it's called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, commonly referred to in the US as Lou Gehrig's disease, right?
Right.
It's basically a degeneration of all the anything that muscles moves. Anything that can move, it basically kills it, right? So imagine you are like that, right? Will you be doing shakara that
you can't ask or you can beg?
That you can't ask or you can't, because you know that you're already at But I also wanted to say that, like, at the end of the day, when we are talking about begging privilege, right? The fact that you are able to walk up to a stranger on the road and ask them that, I need this thing or I need this thing, is already more than enough opportunity. Do you get? And if you don't get that thing, right? Or like I remember you mentioned earlier that you don't want insult, right? So, but the thing is that there's a false thing going on there, because that implies that if you don't want insult, that means you don't want somebody to say that you did beg, right? Or you don't want me person fall your hand, right?
Yeah.
Which implies that begging is a bad thing. Or which it is not, because all of us they beg. As long as they like that. I sure say sometimes they when they begging wife say I beg now.
Depending on what is begging for.
Depending on what is begging for. Yes. I think they like that. See, it might not be please, I beg. Do you understand? There are different ways. Begging comes in different for. I don't see those people for bus stop now. Then they drop the English like this. They are not really begging you, but
but
they are begging the hell out of you. So if you don't get it, if you don't get what you're begging for, what you're asking for, like, or if somebody insults you because you beg them for something,
so be it.
That is not even so be it. That is not an indictment of you. That's not a reflection of a negative thing on you. If them think oh, because somebody's begging me for something, then they deserve to be insulted. Then that's on them. They are the ones that don't have sense.
Bam.
Do you understand? Like people.
You're giving me aspire to perspire vibes.
When
right
people
now,
come
but
and-
in a good way.
When I'm in traffic,
You're not going to say thank you.
sorry. Your mom, I was in the flow. You get so.
Sorry for breaking
you
your
know,
flow. Yeah, when you're in traffic.
If I'm in traffic, right? Maybe I'm driving in traffic, and beggars come around and stuff. Sometimes you have money, you can give them. Sometimes you can't. But that does not. I'm not thinking, oh, I have to insult them, or they are stupid, or they are this, or they are that. Do you get? I might have whatever ideas about why they are in the situation they are in, or my own thoughts or whatever, but I'm not transferring that on them. Do you get? Even in my own personal life, there are friends where there are situations where this friend actually specifically made conscious effort to get themselves in this jam that they are in. Maybe I don't even follow them, enjoy their enjoyment of waiting and do. Right? So maybe I have those thoughts or those concepts in my own head, but like I'm not now going to now take that and now say, oh, because of this thing, you don't have sense, or you're stupid, or you're this. Why? Because at the end of the day, everybody is fallible. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody fucks up. Everybody needs help.
Sure. Everybody's fallible. That's very important. Like, because I feel like nowadays people just go through life thinking, I'm perfect, or like, oh, this other person is perfect. Right?
We need to stop chasing perfection, man.
Yeah,
It does not exist.
It doesn't exist. Perfection. Like, you can't, like, literally, and we've seen people who, like, they were rich, and then before they close their eyes and open
They were
it,
poor.
they are like nothing because something ridiculously tragic has happened.
And then some of them became rich again. And some of them never became
Some
rich.
never became rich.
Listen, life ebbs and flows, man. It goes up, it comes down. It's what it is. Beg, please, if you need something, try all your best to sort it out, figure it out. If you cannot, beg.
I think it's
alright?
also important that you have
But beg
people-
humbly.
Yes, beg humbly. I think apart from that, what's it called? What was that? What was I going to say? Apart from like, strangers and like, beg people for something and stuff like that, I think that like as people and as individuals, as adults, really, we should have people in our corners, right, that we can ask, like that you can say at least, I'm privileged to know this person, right? On one hand. Number two, that that they can come to for you when you're in a fix, right? I feel like if people go through life, or if people are there for each other, or if people go through life, trying to build relationships and partnerships and like, network with each other, build friendships and all of that, we should always like have each other's back, right? Like know that, oh, you got my back, I got your back. It might not be every time or whatever, but like we should just try to have those people in our corners that we know that, okay, oh, these people, at least if something's up now, I will feel called. It's like, let's say that you're driving and, maybe police, they pick you up or whatever. And, you don't just have anybody that you can call to, call on rather, to maybe save you or help you or like, something. It's just
I
like,
agree
I
with
think
that.
it's important that you just have people within your circle or your space, at least, that that you can ask for something and, they would come to.
I hear
they
that.
will largely come to.
I hear that, but I don't think you can ever really know that, because coming through for you is not only dependent on their relationship with you, it's also dependent on their capacity to come through or their ability
That's
to come
true,
through.
but like let me say
No,
something.
I'm not
If-
even.
Okay.
I actually agree, right? Like we need to build support networks within our, friend groups, our, whoever we have relationships with, our work, whatever. Like you should have people in your life, right? That you think at least that they'll have your back if shit hits the fan, right? But I'm also saying that while that is,
Be that as it may.
be that as it may, at the same time, you should also know at the back of your mind that like you can never truly know that they'll always have your back.
Okay.
And
okay.
them having your back is not based on say whether they like you or they don't like you, whether they are friends with you or they're not friends with you alone. It also involves their own abilities, their own capacities
to do for you.
and what's
Okay.
also going on in their own life, and just Like if there's war now, right? Yeah. Maybe now there's war and they don't blow up Third Milan Bridge, Qatar Bridge, Eco Bridge. Then you that are my friend, you're on the island, I'm on the mainland, you now call me and say I should come and help you. Hello?
Obviously, you can't. You want me guys? I mean, you didn't want me.
I might want to help you, but it does not mean I can. Do you get what I'm saying? So again, it just goes back into what we're saying about not being entitled to people's help, right? Yes, know that if I ask, I have a 80% chance, 70% chance that they'll help me, right? But don't be thinking that like you have 100% chance 100% of the time. Absolutely not. All right. So please, those of those of you on the road. Actually, I don't know if people on the road will be hearing this kind of things. Maybe we need to get our podcast on the radio itself. I think I have to talk to a few people about that. But yeah, basically to round it all up, I think we both agree that the begging privilege exists amongst human beings, strangers, friends, family, whoever. We also acknowledge that sometimes people overuse or misuse that privilege and step over bounds. And then we also acknowledge that it's very helpful and very useful in anyone's life to have a support group or a support network or a set of people that they know that has high probability of helping them if shit hits the fan or supporting them in their struggles, right? And we've also agreed that everybody in this life at some point, in some way, shape or form, will need some kind of help, and everybody will beg for something at some point. Okay. So
nice. That's soundly put. Is it soundly?
I mean, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but maybe you're going to do a double combo. Succinctly. Yes.
Succinctly.
Oh my God. Kamali Mwejade, this is how you're going to be disgracing me.
Oh my God. Somebody put on Instagram that Jemima's slip-ups are one of the best things of this podcast. And like, it's just interesting because I don't be doing it on pop.
Exactly. That's the thing. So you guys need to now consider the fact that she lives like this. This is her life, right? This is her life. So all these slip-ups that people are even getting is just tip of the iceberg. Wow.
Oh my God.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for your slip-ups. Actually, I think myself and the audience and Ayomide, we appreciate it very much.
You guys have fun now. You always
give us
me.
content.
Like you is like, yay! Oh
we
my
literally
God.
cannot record without you giving us a slip-up. Like I fucking love it. I love it. It's great. It's great for marketing.
I did this for my fans.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. More comments and feedback.
Yeah, so do you have any recommendations for the people?
I don't. I was watching one movie yesterday. I thought I was going to finish it, so I'll recommend it, but I've not finished it. So the next step, probably I would have finished it by then, and I'll recommend. But yeah, nothing really. I've not tried anything new recently. I've not even watched anything new recently.
Okay.
This guy is whispering to me. Yeah, what did you say? What did you say?
I did not say anything.
Now?
I did
Come
not.
on.
No, absolutely not.
All right.
I will not. I will recommend
backstage. Yes,
offline. I'll recommend that you people don't listen to albums immediately they drop. Okay. Yes.
What's that about now?
Please just listen. This whole Drake, Kanye, all this shit, like
Kanye has an album. I'm sorry. I did it.
You're doing well.
I'm sorry now.
No. You're doing well, actually.
But wait, he dropped an album.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, he dropped an album named after his mother.
When?
Like last week or like a few weeks ago or last week or something. Okay. Very recently, I can't remember exactly when. And then Drake dropped recently too.
Yeah,
and all the takes and oh god, everybody now music critic is just fucking exhausting. Like
So what's your recommendation? They should not critique. Which one now?
Well, I know that. See, people that listen to the Shrine podcast, they're a special group of people. All right. So you guys just don't allow all these people and their things
to
like
influence.
to their hair. Just
okay.
when it drops, just chill a few days, then listen to it, make up your own decision, which one you like, which one you don't like,
Take your time.
Take your time. The thing is already anywhere. It's there. It's on Apple Music, Spotify.
Forever and never.
By my hair. So it's not going anywhere. You're not missing out on anything. Just because you're not listening to it that first week does not mean that you're missing out on anything.
It's FOMO. They catch.
So let's collectively help ourselves and save ourselves from all these hot takes and analysis. But that's been the show. Thank you guys so much for rocking with us as always.
I had fun. Did you have fun?
Yes, I had fun.
You're just talking.
This wine. Listen.
Talking about it.
Wine is the elixir of our podcast. Okay?
Yeah.
It is the lifeblood of our podcast. I feel like you people always know when I'm in that zone. So I had fun.
Thank you guys for
rocking with us.
Yeah.
As usual. If you have questions, comments, or things you want us to talk about over a glass of wine.
A cup of wine.
Over a glass of wine. Send us an email at theshrinepodcast@gmail.com. On Instagram is at theshrine.pod. On Twitter it's if you're in Nigeria, on your VPN first.
Yes, very important.
You can DM us on Twitter at the Shrine Pod.
Yes, and follow our house.
Follow us on Clubhouse. You guys, let's make this a collective effort, right? What can we do with Clubhouse? All right, get at us. Let's know what's up.
Get at us.
As always, my name is Akinari,
and I'm Jemima.
Thank you for listening. Talk to you next time.
Adios.
Peace out.